Tonight, high water.
Holy moly! You just don't realize it until you're standing and looking at it.
Where the sudden warm-up is sending an almost record snowpack above banks and into basements. Ice emergency.
Water's opening up, ice is opening.
The frantic rush on Georgian Bay. And the dramatic rescue.
They were pretty happy to be heading back to Kitchener to their homes.
During a fishing trip gone horribly wrong. Plus, the road ahead.
We really want to see that space downtown remain a civic space.
For a former transit terminal.
I'm really excited about the potential here.
The region refines its approach to redevelop a key space in downtown Kitchener.
Good evening. The temperature has shot up and so have water levels. From Drayton in the north to Haldimand County in the south, flood warnings are out along the Grand River watershed. And in some places, the water is already spilling over the banks. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us now live near the Grand River in Kitchener. And I know you had a look around the region today. Jeff, what can you tell us about the situation?
Well, Tony, certainly there is a lot of water moving through the Grand River system with all the snow that's melted over the last few days and with some rain coming in the future. It's possible, it's likely that there will be several more days with rivers looking like the Grand River behind me here. And the GRCA says that after the long, cold winter we had with that amount of snow, this is more or less what they were anticipating. Across the Grand River watershed, fast-moving water and localized flooding. This a look at the Grand River in Conestoga, with a similar scene not far away in West Montrose. The Grand River Conservation Authority placing a number of communities under a flood watch. They say after the winter we just had, this is to be expected.
We are in a very dynamic situation. After a relatively dry summer and fall, we've had a very cold and snowy winter. In some parts of the watershed, specifically in north, we saw snow levels and snow water equivalent levels that had not been seen since 70s. We approached and sometimes exceeded what we had on record.
In Ayr, where just last week a fire destroyed a building in the heart of downtown, today flooding hitting the exact same area.
It's amazing. The water banks are flooded, but holy moly, you just don't realize it until you're standing and looking at it. Like it's way over there where those homes are. That's amazing.
Ted and Louise are new to Ayr and were shocked by the high water level. Those who have been in the community for longer have seen several floods of this magnitude or worse.
Most of the people we spoke to, yes, this is not the first time they've been through level 2 or level 3. But we did find some people, their tenants and renting, that this is the first time they've been through it, which is why we go out and we do the door-to-door.
With water levels peaking early this afternoon, the North Dumfries fire chief says it appears the worst is over.
Tannery Street behind us will come close at a level 1, and level 2 is the water's up to the back of these buildings, and then level 3 is that next one. So we are just under a level 3 when the Nith crested.
And in a community that just faced a brutal fire and floods.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but the community will make it happen. I'm sure of that.
The receding waters are welcome news. Jeff Pickle, CTV News. Situation looking better in Ayr now that as the day went on, it's getting better and better there. But the GRCA says still a lot of snowpack still needs to melt, especially in the northern part of the watershed. And with that rain expected to come later this week, again, that could make these water systems, these rivers, a less predictable situation. So still the message is out there to be safe, keep kids, keep pets, and keep yourselves away from the water's edge. Tony?
Yeah, such a critical message right now. Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle along the Grand River in Kitchener. And let's head over to Ashley Bacon now for our first look at the forecast. Boy, such a beautiful day, but the result is all of that almost record-breaking snowpack is melting and the water levels just keep going up.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that record-breaking, almost record-breaking snowpack, Tony, because you know what? We might actually break that record a little later in this week, but yes, we do have to get through what was an absolutely beautiful day. But before I get into what's happening with our weather forecast, let's look at this video. It was taken in Elora yesterday. It's the Irvine Creek, which flows into the Grand River. And as you can see, with the weekend rain we just heard Jeff Pickle talking about and that snow belt, it is raging. Creeks don't normally look this way. And of course, it can become very dangerous quickly. So if you are out and about, be safe. Again, this is Elora yesterday. And as we take a look at our special weather statement for Southern Ontario, it is going to be a wet week ahead. Significant rainfall is expected for Southern Ontario, 20 to 40 millimeters, larger amounts possible with thunderstorms that are expected to pass through as well. Of course, the ground is still very frozen in many places, and that's why it's having trouble absorbing it, causing some of these flooding issues. If we take a look at our satellite right now, very nice conditions, pretty clear. You see a couple of little spots there, but overall, we aren't expecting the rainfall to really set place until late in the overnight hours, early tomorrow morning. But right now, Tony, 17 degrees south by southwest wind at 39 kilometers an hour. So a bit windy out there, but my gosh, it is warm and sunny. Get out and enjoy it now that we have a later than normal sunset.
Yes, sure is a beautiful temp. Okay, Ash, thank you so much. All right, well, speaking of things taking a sudden turn in this warm-up, a harrowing ordeal on Georgian Bay yesterday. 2 men from Kitchener were among 23 people who were rescued by police in helicopters after a massive piece of ice broke away from the shoreline. This was just north of Owen Sound. All of the rescued had been out ice fishing when the ice broke away and floated 2 kilometers out into open water. A local resident who watched it all happen tells us the ice ended up breaking up into 2 pieces, leaving some of those involved trapped in the water.
The second ice flow had 5 individuals on. The first ice flow had 18 individuals on. Now, the one with 5 individuals was actually sinking, and the people on that ice float were actually in their sleds, battling against the water too. I did speak to 2 young fellas that were very surprised when the ice shelf broke off and they ended up stranded out there. They were pretty happy to be heading back to Kitchener to their homes.
Officials said some of those who were rescued had hypothermia, but all were expected to make full recoveries. And the dramatic rescue is putting the previous warnings about ice conditions into focus. CTV's Rob Cooper takes us through more of that ordeal and hears from some people involved in an afternoon gone horribly wrong.
Water's opening up, ice is opening.
Kevin Fox of Penetangwishing was one of nearly 24 people that had to be rescued off Georgian Bay near Owen Sound yesterday after a massive piece of ice broke away, leaving them stuck with no way off.
And I noticed that the water splashing was a little bit more, and at that point I knew that the crack was opening. So those little tiny waves that were pushing the ice out and splashing on it were now 4-footers crashing on that ice, breaking it up. So it was eroding towards us.
Police say they received the call for help just before the noon hour. 2 OPP helicopters and an orange chopper raced to the scene. The group of ice fishermen were about 2 kilometers from shore, and time was quickly running out with some people already in the water.
It was at that point guys started calling family, saying goodbye. People were crying. It was an emotional time. And I think what really built on that is seeing other grown men crying, calling, saying goodbye to their daughters, saying goodbye to their families.
Rescue crews prioritized the people in the water first, then turned their attention to those on the drifting ice. 2 hours after the call, everyone was rescued, only 2 people treated with minor injuries, including hypothermia. The incident comes as temperatures rise and the ice starts to break away, especially near the shorelines. All permanent ice huts have to be off local lakes by the 15th of the month and the 30th in the north. Donnie Lushkew says he's simply calling it a season with just a few days left.
To make sure that we got off in a safe and timely manner, There's no point in keeping people out there if you don't believe in your heart that it's 100% safe and effective.
Now, police say in all there were 23 people that had to be rescued off the lake yesterday. They are also telling people that the dramatic swing in temperatures will certainly become a factor in the coming days and weeks, and remind people it's always a risk heading out on any body of water at any time. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
A firefighter was taken to hospital for smoke inhalation following a blaze at a townhouse complex in Hamilton.
Crews did an amazing job. We had 2 aerials up at the time. They were able to cut it off before it started to get into the next units. So it was predominantly an exterior firefighting operation today. Crews did and were able to get inside to some of the units to check and make sure there are no occupants. What I can tell you is that the folks that were in the units at the time of the fire are all accounted for at this point.
The fire happened overnight at a building on Echo Valley Drive near Mudd Street and Upper Centennial Parkway. The flames have since been put out, but an investigation into the cause is ongoing. The fire marshal's office is leading that investigation. For the second time in less than a week, a large police presence in Kitchener turned out to be because of a swatting incident. That's when a fake report about some kind of emergency sends first responders out in big numbers. CTV's Karis Mapp is live with more. Karis, this time it was a false report today about someone with a gun inside a school.
That's right, Tony. The call brought police to Grand River Collegiate Institute around 9:30 this morning, putting the school into a lockdown and 6 neighboring elementary schools into hold and secures. Students and staff were cleared from Grand River Collegiate, but no weapon was found, leading police to treat the report as a swatting call. That's when a false report is made to trigger an emergency police response, which is an increasingly common trend. The lockdowns were lifted about 3 hours later. And then in a separate incident, just 3 days before, around 3 o'clock rather, Friday morning, a call about a shooter at a home in Kitchener also turned out to be the swatting call. And tonight, police are stressing just how disruptive these swatting calls truly are.
The amount of resources that are required is enormous. We do have our call takers who are responding to the actual call. We have first responder officers from our patrol divisions responding to be first on scene. It requires our emergency response officers to attend the scene to assist with clearing the buildings. We have ambulance on standby in the area. These are serious incidents. We respond to them as if they are in fact happening. It causes great concern among first responders. It causes fear and consternation among the student population, as well as for parents for their children who are present at the school during the time.
Police say there are various consequences to making a swatting call that could result in criminal charges. Coming up later tonight, we'll have more on this story, including thoughts from some of the students impacted by today's lockdowns. Tony.
Okay, Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp with that report for us. A new initiative is providing a big shipment of relief to Waterloo Region's hunger crisis. Coming up later, we'll show you how the Mennonite Central Committee is giving the shelves at the food bank a big restock, 1 can at a time. And we'll find out just how badly this relief is needed.
Well, get out and enjoy it while you can. That sun is about to go down in an hour or so, and rain is on the way. Just how much and for how long? Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
The region of Waterloo is looking to take a different route to redevelop a downtown Kitchener landmark. The former Charles Street terminal has been sitting empty for almost 7 years. The region says it's now time for a phased approach. As CTV's Alexandra Hollick explains, local community groups want their say in what happens next.
Over the years, the Charles Street terminal in downtown Kitchener has worn many hats. For decades, it served as a hub for Grand River Transit and as a drive-through testing center during the COVID-19 pandemic. But since then, it's sat empty, and the region of Waterloo hopes to get the wheels turning on redevelopment.
Over that time period, the region is engaged in various community consultations.
Regional staff are proposing a multi-phased approach, noting higher construction costs and a challenging market for development. They're hoping to reduce financial risks and work with nonprofits to create community spaces.
bringing different partners together will make it more viable for each individual partner potentially to see their dream and vision for their portion of the project to come to fruition.
We really want to see that space downtown remain a civic space and become a community hub for a number of non-for-profits that are constantly displaced, and we're one of them.
Willow River Center's Bangishimo says the region is missing an Indigenous cultural center, something their group has been pushing for.
There are thousands of us here in the region, and we need a place to call home. So we're still here. We're still in it. We don't plan on giving up.
Regional staff also say the new approach will help ease concerns over the water capacity crisis by extending the timeline to develop the full 3-acre site, with the hope that the problem will be solved by the time construction begins.
I'm really excited about the potential here. I know the community is very excited and look forward to see how this will evolve in the months and years ahead.
The report is set to go to the region's Sustainability, Infrastructure and Development Committee Tuesday afternoon. If the recommendation is approved, it'll then move to Regional Council, but it'll likely be a while before any shovels are in the ground. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
A new bylaw in one area of Muskoka is aiming to preserve the night sky. All properties must have what the municipality calls responsible lighting to minimize light pollution. CTV's Mike Lang has details.
With its regulation of outdoor illumination, the town of Huntsville has been making sure that all lights serve their purpose and only their purpose.
It allows you to light anything you want to light, but it stops spraying light up into the sky and onto your neighbor's property.
In January 2016, Council passed a bylaw to make sure lighting on all properties does not trespass and does not disrupt the natural darkness of the night sky. All new builds since then have had to be in compliance, and those who've needed to make adjustments had until January 2026.
You used to see this giant glowing light bulb, and then the street would be lit. Now you look down the street, you don't see the light bulb at all, but you see the street lit. That's dark sky friendly.
This image on the town's website shows the different levels of lighting, from polluted to fully shielded and complete darkness.
Whenever we can have these dedicated areas as a preserve, to have laws to lower the light pollution, it's always a plus.
Astronomer Gary Boyle also discussing the wildlife impacts.
Now we're having these Cobra lights on highways lighting up the area, so now they're easy prey for the bigger predators.
The town also focusing on forms of cut-off light fixtures that point downward and are shielded from the sides.
It's fundamental to who we are, the clean water, the trees, and seeing the stars.
CTV's Mike Lang filing that report from Muskoka. Well, turning now to some health news. March is Brain Health Awareness Month, with a focus on educating people about ways to maintain cognitive function and their overall brain well-being.
There are a number of things we can do in the younger years and decades of our life to help reduce our risk of dementia later on. First and foremost, thinking about, how are we eating? How are we staying physically active? We know that things like eating a balanced diet with iron and key fruits and vegetables, as well as being active, ideally about 150 minutes per week of moderate to high intensity activity, those things can promote good blood flow to the brain, and they can also reduce our risk of things like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes, which can be really significant risk factors for different kinds of dementia. So eating well and staying active, in addition to a number of health benefits, can help protect our brains.
Experts say social connection and sleep are also important. You can watch the full interview with Dr. Matthew Tenenbaum, the Associate Medical Officer of Health for the Guelph area, by heading over to our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Back now to a live look outside as we take a look at the Grand River at the Freeport Bridge in Kitchener. As we were hearing earlier, Grand River Conservation has flood watches and warnings out because those levels have been going up just as the temperatures have been going up. And in fact, the concerns heightened this week with a lot more rain on the way. Ashley's back in just a couple of moments with our forecast. Also ahead, a question of McMarketing. CTV's Spencer Turcotte gets some local expert takes on the burger ad that had people asking, was it a hit or a miss? And next, should Canada shift its stance on the Iran war? Members of Parliament sitting down tonight for a discussion on the unfolding conflict. Ashley's back with our 7-day forecast.
Yes.
So much to cover because over the weekend, a lot of people I was talking to who didn't go anywhere this winter, people who didn't travel this winter, were saying, I forgot what 10 degrees, 12 degrees, 14 degrees felt like.
And it was a bit of a weird one because it was very foggy for a lot of the region. We got a lot of rain, but we also had that nice warm Sunday and warmer temperatures. It was a weird, very false spring-like kind of weekend.
Oh, I was just speaking with Leanne about this today as we were out enjoying a beautiful walk. False spring is what we are in right now.
100%.
In a bit of denial, and I want to believe it because now it feels like May out there today.
It's beautiful. We reached 17 degrees, and with the sunshine, had there not been any wind, Tony, it would have felt like a summer day.
Yes.
But that wind was a reminder that winter isn't over yet.
That's right, technically.
Let's take a look outside. You can take a look. We aren't even in sunset yet. It is beautiful out there this hour in Kitchener. Dave Pettit bringing us this beautiful shot of the Grand River. Thank you, Dave. It is a beautiful night to get out and enjoy it because unless you're a big fan of rain, we're in for quite a few days of wet stuff. Now, that is likely to convert to snow by the end of the week, but let's not go that far just yet. Let's start with our weather board from Environment Canada, a special weather statement, rather, for Southern Ontario. Significant rainfall is expected to start tomorrow. 20 to 40 millimeters. Larger amounts could be seen through some thunderstorms and, of course, the frozen ground causing so many flooding issues, which we've seen throughout the show. As we take a look at our futurecast, this will paint a better picture. We're seeing clear skies right now. We're going to start to see cloud cover move in through the overnight hours, and then early tomorrow morning, that's when the first band of rain is set to come through. Now, that is around 4 p.m. The heaviest stuff is going to sit right over Kitchener-Waterloo tomorrow. Now, that's going to continue through to the east part of the country, but we are going to see a second band move through Tuesday overnight and then continue through your Wednesday. So Wednesday will also be quite a washout. Temperatures dropping Wednesday overnight. I'll get to that in just a moment, but right now across the country, a very comfortable 5 degrees on the west coast in Vancouver and Victoria. Over the Rockies, -3 in Edmonton. -4 for Regina, -10 in Winnipeg. In our nation capital this hour, sunny and 12 degrees. Check out Windsor. 20 degrees and sunshine. That feels like a summer day, Tony. On the East Coast, St. John's, the sun setting there, 2 degrees. And here in Kitchener-Waterloo, we're sitting at a very comfortable 16 degrees, much higher than our average this time of year. Not quite record-breaking, though. Overnight lows down to 2, so not too cold, but we will start to see the rain come through tomorrow. 15 degrees is our expected high tomorrow, so temperatures at least staying warm for the next couple of days, but by Wednesday night, we will see a drop. Right now, looking at our almanac, sun rising now at 7:45 a.m., setting at 7:21 p.m. We're getting almost 12 hours of daylight, so great news there, especially now that the daylight saving switchover has happened. 7-day forecast for Waterloo region. I want to point out Wednesday overnight, temperatures go from 13 degrees Wednesday with rain to an overnight low of -5. So we are going to keep an eye on that because that could cause some major ice concerns, slippery conditions on both roadways and walkways. So as we get closer to Wednesday night, we'll keep an eye on that. It could be for a messy one. Converting to flurries by Thursday because the temperature dips back down to normal conditions for this time of year, and that means we might meet our record-breaking snowfall year. We're only a couple of centimeters away, so we might meet that record this week. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions, rainfall for your Tuesday and Wednesday, sunny for your Thursday, and a high of 5. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, showers converting to freezing rain Wednesday, high of 10, -7 overnight. By Thursday and Friday, rather, flurries and snowfall. So the week's going to start with an umbrella, end with a shovel, and it will be okay because we're still in winter. Let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture. Tony, do you know who loves wet weather? and spring? Ducks do.
The ducks.
The ducks love this weather. Dave sent this photo in from air last week. Look, guys, these guys are enjoying the false season as well. So.
and unlike us, I'll bet you these guys don't differentiate between false spring and real spring. They just know when there's water, they want to be there.
That's right. The sun's out. Let's go.
That's right. Weather for the ducks. All right, Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Members of Parliament are debating Canada's shifting stance on the Iran war in the House of Commons tonight. It's a chance for all parties to present their positions, which includes criticism of the Prime Minister's approach. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Mark Carney and Donald Trump spoke Sunday afternoon, including about the Middle East, the Prime Minister's office saying they agreed to stay in close contact. The situation in Iran high on the Prime Minister's agenda, but he isn't planning to attend a debate on it in the House of Commons tonight.
We met with the incident response group yesterday with the Prime Minister and 5 or 6 ministers.
The Defense Minister acknowledges the concern NATO could be drawn into the conflict and says Canada also watching closely the decisions by other NATO allies to assist countries in the area.
The Iranian war now, the incursion led by Israel and the United States, has a bearing on fundamental questions like ammunition supply. It also has a bearing on the situation in Ukraine. So we are cognizant of that, watching it carefully.
The Canadian position has been unprincipled, it's been contradictory, and it's been incoherent.
The Liberal government facing criticism for its evolving position, beginning with stronger support than some allies for the initial airstrikes and then calling for de-escalation.
It's hard to know what's the current position of the government.
No Liberal MPs were critical publicly today as they reconvene for the first time since the war began.
We are here to work collaboratively and quickly with the Prime Minister and the government to turn rhetoric into results.
While the opposition leader accused Carney of pandering in all directions as he called for a different emergency debate about what Pierre Poilievre terms an emergency energy production plan.
Our allies are desperate for energy that does not come from the Middle East or Russia. High oil and gas prices present an enormous opportunity for Canada, which has the 4th biggest supply of oil in the world.
MPs gather to debate the ongoing situation tonight, while Liberals will have a chance to air their views behind closed doors at their caucus meeting Wednesday. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
As the Iran war stretches into a 10th day, Tehran is being hit again under a new Ayatollah now, the son of the former supreme leader. Meanwhile, Iran is ramping up its strikes, targeting Israel and the oil facilities of Gulf nations. At the border between Turkey and Iran, meanwhile, many people are trying to escape the conflict. CTV's Adrian Gobriel is there and has one Canadian family's journey to safety.
An ominous black flag blows in the wind on the Iranian side of the Kappa-Cow border crossing, a towering symbol marking a time of mourning for Iran's late supreme leader. On the ground on the Turkish side of the border crossing, war-weary travelers make their way down this long pedestrian passage as they walk towards freedom.
Super risky, you know?
This Canadian father flew all the way from Vancouver, desperate to reunite with his wife and 2 young daughters caught in the conflict after they went to visit a sick relative in Iran.
I just need to meet them here safe, that's it.
What will it mean to you to be able to hug your children again?
I don't need anything, I don't want anything in my whole life. I just want to hug them, that's it.
It's been like more than 3 hours that I'm staying here, waiting for my aunt. I'm feeling it, and I think.
Mohammed Asadi flew from Germany to wait for his aunt, a Canadian from British Columbia, who spent the last 10 days trapped in Tehran as airstrikes rained down.
It makes us human beings to be with your family, to help your family when they are in need.
If you're willing to wait. A team of Canadian consular officers are also on the ground, offering assistance to those making this precarious passage.
The communications are down, the internet is down, so it's very challenging for anyone inside Iran to communicate outside of the country.
This is what many are fleeing. New video today inside Tehran's Shahran oil depot, an apocalyptic scene following a wave of U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. And confirmation that for a second time, NATO has shot down an Iranian missile as it entered Turkish airspace. This as the foreign minister for Iran's supreme leader warns of a long, painful war.
What is important for us is the end of this game. And we are ready to continue that game.
As global powers posture,
we're gonna go home, Vancouver. It's our home.
On this day, a moment of humanity, a Canadian family reunited.
To see him standing there waiting for you, what did that moment mean to you?
Yeah, it's everything.
I'm alive for this moment.
To have your daughter back in your arms and you're heading home to Canada.
Peace, home, 2 words.
High five.
Canadians helping Canadians.
When I met you here,
Huge relief, huh?
Though some are left waiting into the night, Iranian border agents won't let Assadi's aunt cross with her Canadian passport.
Now she's a lady alone on that side of border in this cold weather.
While some are homeward bound, others wait, hoping a new day will reunite them with their loved ones. Relief for many, heartache for others. The tension here at this border crossing is palpable. The U.S. has raised its travel security alert due to a heightened risk of terrorism and armed conflict right here at this location. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Van Province, Turkey.
Trying to price out the impact of the Iran war. Just ahead, gas prices are already up. What factors could determine where they're going next?
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Gas prices continued to climb over the weekend, and it appears this week may be no different. Crude oil has hit its highest price since 2022 as the war involving the U.S., Iran, and Israel continues to impact the global oil supply. CTV's Rahim Ladani has been speaking with drivers.
How do you feel about the price of gas right now? It's not cheap.
Bad. One word sums it up. The price at the pump frustrating drivers feeling helpless across the GTA.
You got to put the gas in no matter what's happening. I'm happy with the price, but you still got to buy it.
More money, so we have no option.
The conflict in the Middle East led to oil prices surpassing $100 U.S. per barrel over the weekend for the first time in more than 3.5 years. The impact being felt around the world.
Now, the Strait of Hormuz normally moves about 16 million barrels a day of oil and 4 million barrels a day of petroleum products to global markets. And what we're seeing right now is really just a trickle of oil moving through that strait. And so that's what's driving oil prices up.
On social media, U.S. President Donald Trump says surging oil prices are a small price to pay for safety and peace. But those filling up disagree.
I don't like him. Yeah, the hell with him. Because I'm paying the price now.
This woman we met first didn't realize filling her tank was about to be more expensive.
Don't really remember from the same last time.
But after she got the bill, she came back to tell us.
I just see right now, usually I put 45 and it's full. And now it's not even full.
While the pain at the pumps is immediate, the war in Iran is driving market uncertainty, which could lead to paying more for everything else.
The rise in oil prices is going to be felt absolutely everywhere. It's just going to increase the cost of production.
Food analysts say soaring energy prices will also increase fertilizer costs, as 30% of the world's ingredients to make fertilizer comes from the Middle East.
Every 25% more in oil equates to about $150 to $200 more you have to spend at the grocery store for a family of 4.
Potentially driving up the costs across Canada's supply chains.
That report from Rahim Ladani. And checking our top stories now, CTV's Krista Simpson is in studio with us as we take a look at those rising water levels with all that rain and melting snow.
Well, Tony, a number of communities are under flood warnings, with new alerts being issued today for Conestoga, Westmont, Rose and Ayr as the waters rise in those areas. The Grand River Conservation Authority says they were expecting this as we approach spring, and the water will remain high for the next few days. Grand River Collegiate Institute in Kitchener was put into lockdown today as police investigated a report that there was someone with a gun at the school, which is now believed to have been a swatting call. That is when a false report to police is made in order to generate an emergency response. A number of nearby elementary schools were also put into hold and secure during the investigation. Police say they believe the incident was targeted.
And Krista, from our digital team tonight, a story about a Guelph man who lost a lot of money in a cryptocurrency scam.
Yes, Tony, police say the man had been previously a victim of fraud, and someone reached out to him to say they could help him recoup his his losses. Turns out that offer was also a scam that his daughter later discovered. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also, of course, just visit our website at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson joining us with our top stories. A new partnership in Waterloo Region is aiming to put more protein on the table for families facing food insecurity. Volunteers with the Mennonite Central Committee, Ontario's new meat cannery facility in New Hamburg, loaded the first shipment of canned chicken that's heading to the food bank of Waterloo Region. 28,000 cans of pre-cooked chicken made from all Canadian meat will be provided each year to local food programs. And it'll have a 5-year shelf life. 1 in 9 households in Waterloo Region relies on food assistance.
Demand is at the highest that we've seen it in the history of the food bank. And we're seeing more families having to access more frequently. So it's become less of an emergency kind of solution and more of an ongoing way that people are feeding their families.
Go into any grocery store and you'll see that prices are getting very high, and it's getting harder and harder to actually source chicken and poultry. So we're so grateful that we're actually able to help right here in our own backyard.
The Kitchener-based Lyle S. Hallman Foundation is providing $600,000 over 3 years to this program. And by the way, the cannery also puts shipments together for international relief efforts. A Cambridge mom and son duo have unlocked Waterloo Region's Sweet Tooth with custom treats for parties and events. We head into Build-A-Bucket Sweet Eatery and Gift Co. on this week's edition of Made Right Here.
Hey guys, Travis here from Build-A-Bucket Sweet Eatery and Gift Co. We're a mom and son duo that offer curated candy and sweets. We do all types of different events, a lot of families. So if we're not doing a birthday party, a loot for the birthday party, we've done candy buffets, and then continuously coming back for Easter baskets or Christmas baskets. We offer anything from a custom loot, starting at the outside of the box, from a design, a theme, to the child's name or the family member's name on the box. And then of course the treats that are inside of it, whether it's a candy kebab that we assemble with international candy, local candy, or the handmade chocolate that we source from international supplier. So you'll find our bakery display case has in-house made treats. We try to rotate the flavors weekly, but we do have a few classic favorites that we keep. Today you will be seeing Caramel Twix bar that we make in-house. We also offer Mom's Dolly Squares. They're very popular, sell out weekly. Our confetti squares. And then we usually have a cookie of the week, essentially. So we'll have a chocolate chip cookie base that we flavor. We put on different inclusions, toppings, and that's made in-house. We take a lot of pride in our 2 private label that we've created, our Cloud9 bars, which is our cookie nougat bar. We have that in our Oreo or Reese flavor. And we also offer our Cosmic Crave, which is our, like a sweet and salty vibe, cheese and chocolate. So with the storefront, we included our new curated lunch boxes. So we offer artisan-style sandwiches that we make in-house, turkey bacon club, several different deli-style sandwiches, house-made chicken noodle soup, chilies, assortment of different features that we like to do weekly. Coming to work each day, it doesn't seem like work because of how much passion I have behind it, and being with my family and creating those moments with my mom, who's retired, that helps me tremendously with the business. I honestly am so wholesome and complete, filled with gratitude.
Watching out for wandering wildlife. Coming up, the coyote warning out of Peel Region that's reinforcing the dangerous side of this early warm-up. With spring approaching, more people are going to be out enjoying area parks and trails, and officials in Peel Region are reminding people not to feed wild animals, including one coyote that's become somewhat of a local celebrity. CTV's John Musselman has that story.
Residents have spotted it along the hydro corridor in Etobicoke and in parks in Mississauga and beyond.
Sometimes people have pointed out, okay, they've seen it.
A distinctive coyote with a missing tail that has been nicknamed Bunny by online followers.
I don't know if he's a celebrity, but people know him because he's got no tail. Huh?
Maybe getting the celebrity treatment online, but Mississauga wildlife experts say people are feeding this animal and it is putting it at risk.
One of our officers actually stopped a man from dropping a tray of macaroni and cheese for Bunny. So it's happening quite frequently, unfortunately.
Bunny the coyote has been appearing in plazas and neighborhoods, and she is becoming comfortable around people in what experts say is a food-conditioned coyote. The city is reminding residents not to feed any wild animals. It puts them at risk of injury, traffic collisions, and in conflict with pets and people.
It could be a danger because, you know, it's a wild animal.
We reached out to local wildlife photographer James Beaton. He wasn't available for an on-camera interview today. From my observations of Bunny, she is not approaching people directly for food. She is passing through areas that are sometimes busy, but she is not interested in people. She is very focused on squirrels or where she is traveling. She is adept at hunting, and I have seen her catch squirrels. What I am observing instead is some people acting inappropriately. Some have been approaching her or holding out their hands with food, trying to get her to come closer.
If a coyote ever approaches you, or even a fox, what we do tell residents to do is to stop. Everyone's first instinct is to turn around and run. Do not do that. What we want you to do is stop, focus on the animal, look big, so put your arms in the air, shout, yell, wave.
Here's how residents can help when dealing with coyotes. Never feed them, secure garbage and compost, clean up food scraps around yards, parks, and outdoor eating areas, and keep pets on a leash. John Musselman, CTV News.
All right, we'll have more news coming up in just a few minutes. First, over to Ashley.
A few more hours of great weather ahead before the rain comes tomorrow. Those details coming up. Stay with us. A full night ahead with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory, then St. Denis Medical. The fall and rise of Reggie Dinkins follows that at 8:30. Tracker at 9, and cap your night off with The Rookie at 10.
Tonight, a Canadian family's desperate journey to get home.
I don't need anything. I don't want anything in my whole life. I just want to hug them. That's it.
The extraordinary efforts in the Middle East for a long-awaited reunion. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, we're going to join Krista Simpson now for a look ahead to CTV News at 11:30. Krista.
Tony, we'll have more on the lockdown at Grand River Collegiate Institute, the result of what regional police believe to have been a swatting call meant to create an emergency response. We'll have a closer look at what was going on inside during the investigation. Also, the University of Waterloo has named its new president and vice chancellor. We'll have those details at 11:30. Tony.
Krista, thank you for that. Ashley's here with our wake-up weather. Now we can measure this false spring in hours. Yes. Well, at least the temperature side of it.
You know what? We're going to be warm for at least another 2 days,
okay.
Above seasonal until Wednesday. It's Wednesday night when the drop takes effect. And you know what? We want it to stay warm that long so that all that rain happens and it doesn't convert to snow. So,
that's true. We need a slow melt as well.
Exactly. Well, so as we all saw, it's going to be a bit messy as it was over the weekend. Let's take a look at the weather statement. Just as a quick reminder, 20 to 40 millimeters on its way. Possible larger amounts with thunderstorms accompanied it. Tomorrow morning, however, foggy conditions. Really won't start seeing too much shower activity until around 10 a.m. So at least it will be warm, Tony, but the rain is coming.
It's on the way.
Yes,
here comes the rain again.
Yeah.
All right, well, finally for us tonight, you may have heard of it, you may have even tried it, the Big Arch, a McDonald's burger that was previously available in Canada. Well, they're rolling it out now in the U.S., and this is getting a lot of attention online, maybe not for the reasons that the company expected.
It all stems from a video the chain's CEO posted of himself trying the burger. As CTV's Spencer Turcotte reports, the mockery may actually be good marketing.
That is so good. That's a big bite
for a big arch.
In a new social media video, McDonald's CEO takes a bite out of the Big Arch while holding up a burger with a negligible bite mark.
It's a delicious product.
The burger, or the product, as Chris Kempczinski refers to it, includes 2 quarter-pound patties and rolled out in the U.S. within the last several days. But a video of the fast food giant's top boss taste testing the new burger has people roasting him online for the awkwardness of it all.
Well, the McDonald's CEO is almost like he's a vegan. The last thing he wants to do is bite into his own burger, and he nibbles on it.
Commenters agree. One saying he was eating that burger like he was a contestant on Fear Factor. Another referencing a SpongeBob scene where Squidward takes the tiniest of bites from a Krabby Patty. Fellow fast food chains even got in on the beef, from comments to videos of their own.
This is exactly the way a great hamburger should be.
The Big Arch became available to Canadians in 2024 and was only around for a limited time. But after calling around to a couple Canadian McDonald's locations, employees tell CTV News the social media craze over the U.S. launch now has customers calling in constantly asking if the Big Arch is still available.
Why don't we go ahead and see if this burger is available at our store? What's the whole hype about? So definitely it's going to be positive for them in terms of dollars.
Here's some food for thought. One marketing expert from the University of Guelph believes these so-called burger wars between brands may actually be good for McDonald's regardless of mockery.
Their CEO was not very relatable. McDonald's, it did not plan for it to go viral in this direction, that other CEOs would come and mock them. But every time the story is mentioned, McDonald's is at the center of the story.
It seems everybody wins here, with the exception of maybe the McDonald's CEO because of how reluctant he looked biting into the burger that feeds him. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
Great story from Spencer as always. I'm going to leave the marketing commentary to the experts. I'm just going to say, I tried this thing a year and a half ago when it was out in Canada. I liked it.
Well, there you go. I didn't get to try one, but it looks good.
And you will not be surprised, knowing me and knowing my appetite, to know that I took a big bite out of that thing when I tried it.
I mean, when in Rome, right?
That's right, yeah. There's a whole lot of burger.
Yes.
That's our time. Krista Simpson's back with your next local news tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.